What's poppin', everybody? This is Ray Rawlins from the Ray Rawlins Network, and today I'm joined by Alex Pain. Today we are doing another episode of the First Impressions, and as usual, we have a series that this time I seen, and I don't know, Alex, you seen this series? You seen? Well, let me introduce it first. First, we're talking about T.U.F.F Puppy, good old Nickelodeon show that started, I want to say, in 2011, I believe. But Alex, you seen this? Because I don't recall you saying you did.
I seen it when I was young, so it's not like I'm some. I
Well, I
vaguely
did
remember
too.
watching it
Shit,
when
we're
I
the
was
same
young.
age.
So I didn't. No, my point is I have no actual recollections of this.
This, honestly, I gotta say, it was one of my favorite series on Nickelodeon at that time that I watched. Like, freshly new and whatnot. I couldn't wait for a new episode to come out. It always had me laughing. And today I got to go back and revisit the pilot. The funny thing is, I remember it, but I don't remember seeing the pilot like that often on TV because, like I said, I used to just love watching this shit. So this episode basically is the whole premise of starting the whole series off about this superhero dog working for an undercover agency of superheroes called the Turbo Undercover Fighting Force. The dog's name is Dudley Puppy, right? And basically, this whole episode is him being introduced to the agency and him working alongside his partner, Kitty Catswell, who obviously is a cat, if you can't tell by the name. And they're trying to stop this rat called Verminius Snaptrap, the leader of Doom. I'm fucking a geek. Anyway, um, who ends up stealing this I guess you call it an artifact from a museum called the Kruger rat, which basically when the moonlight is shined on it of a full moon, it gives them the power to control rats throughout the world. So this is basically, like, as I said, Dudley Puppy's introduction to the Turbo Undercover Fighting Force Agency. And it explains how he got introduced to them, which basically he ended up single-handedly taking down of some of Snaptrap's people, impressed the chief of the agency, and he eventually just gets signed on as a member of their agency. Long story short, we can't keep you guys here all day. Give you guys a little premise of the episode. If you want to see the full thing, obviously you can watch it. But Alex Payne, what are your first thoughts of this episode, man?
Well, my first thoughts were this is Teen Titans, but my second thought was I don't know, man. I think it was kind of cheesy.
Well, listen, we gotta explain to them at first why you're talking about this is Teen Titans, because you sure told me they used the Teen Titans theme, and I did not believe you. And then you played it, and I'm like, get the fuck out of here! These guys totally stole and remastered or remixed. I wouldn't even say. I don't even know. I say
I think they
remastered is the
recreate.
right
I
word.
would say recreated.
There you
I
go.
would say
There you go. They
they
recreated that
recreated
theme
it.
in their own version to make it the Tough Puppy theme, and you are right about that. I'm like, oh man, well, fuck it. That's Nickelodeon, so they can do
Yeah.
whatever they want. It's still a good series to me. But you said it's cheesy. Why is it cheesy?
I don't know. It's just like I feel like I think like the everything what was going on was kind of cheesy-ish. Like the just the I don't know how to describe why feel like it's cheesy. I think like it was just very cheesily executed. Like the
I
super
just,
hyper dog, like just the way they talk about shit and everything. It just was like super cheesy to me,
well,
I
wouldn't
guess.
that be the purpose? Because I think I know what you're talking about. That's
No,
kind of
there's a
how it is
difference
with
between
almost.
cheesy and funny, you know. Like, cause I know what you're saying, but like I don't think it's like, cause it's not ironically cheesy. It's okay. Let me put it this way: if I just saw the series, I would have thought that a 40-year-old dad wrote it. That's what I mean by cheesy. Like it's just corny.
Right. Well, to be technical, you got a 40-year-old playing the superhero dog. Shout out to Jerry Trainer and Spencer and Crazy Steve from
Well, he probably
iCarly and
was a
Drake and
lot younger
Josh.
than that when it came out, though. I
No, he
mean,
wasn't. I want to say he had to be like 40. He had to be 40. He had to be 40. Anyway, you think it's cheesy? I honestly like the series. Honestly, I'm a big lover of cartoons. Um, and I'm always easy on these reviews, man. Like me, since I love cartoons, anime, and all that stuff. If you
You
make me
can't be
laugh,
biased though.
I'm not. I wouldn't say I'm biased. I wouldn't say I'm biased. Look at the SpongeBob reviews we did. I gave them pretty fair ratings.
No,
Like
I'm
them
just
or not
saying,
like them.
you
But
gotta you gotta be
I'm just.
true.
No, you're right. But I'm just a little bit more easier, I guess. You're the harsh critic. Anyway, let's move on. Let's talk about some moments of the episode that really stood out to you, that made you laugh or whatever. I got a couple, but I want to hear yours first as I think about mine.
But I'll say this. I don't think like any of them made me laugh. The moment that stood out to me was well, a moment that stood out to me was where at the end because like when they was talking about the button. Now maybe, just maybe, even though I really don't think this is the case, maybe I just recalled it, but like that is such an overused joke, it's unreal. The
What button?
I'm gonna push a button in the car, and when I
Oh
push the
yeah,
button, it's gonna shoot me out into the air. Woo! Wrong button. I regret my decision. It's
you're
like
right.
that's the most overused spy slash superhero slash whatever joke in history.
No, you're
But
right. You're right.
so like that stood out to me not because it was funny, just because like it was so predictable. It was
I think
unreal.
I think the one of the moments that kind of stood out to me was when the puppy, Dudley Puppy, caught up to Verminius Snaptrap. I love that guy, man. He was always hilarious to me throughout the series when because he was always a big fuck up. Snaptrap was, and kind of like going back seeing it again today when I was watching the episode where um Dudley catches up to them, and I guess you call it like I wouldn't call it a warehouse, but he caught up to him in like a little facility and whatnot, right? Where he's chasing his little chew toy. And Snaptrap's holding the chew toy. He's like, yo, dude, you got something that don't belong to you. Da da da, woo woo woo, right? So, and he was like, yo, here, take it, giving him the little artifact and whatnot. Because, he already took down his homies and whatnot, took down Snaptrap's people. So he's handing him the artifact, like, here, take it. And he's like, no, not that. That. And he grabs a little chew toy. And then Snaptrap's like, this dumb motherfucker. He starts laughing and whatnot. And of course, he ends up taking off. So I think that moment kind of stood out to me. It's like, man, this dog is an idiot, but yet he took down this guy's people. And he had the option to take, obviously, the whole artifact, but he obviously wasn't working with the people. He had no idea what that was. He didn't even know who that guy was. But if it wasn't clear enough, these dudes were attacking you, yet you're not even having a second thought of like, yo, this dude's trying to give me this, but I don't want that. I want my squeaky toy. I don't know. It's plays to the dog's stupidness and whatnot, but I'm like, it's
Yeah,
kind of
but
funny. I got a little
to
chuckle
use
out of
their logic though, if he's all of the dogs put into one, wouldn't that make him super fucking smart?
it. It would. You would think so. You would think so. Because they go on to explain what he's got in him, all his superpowers and whatnot. Um, you would think though, combined, especially because he's got some
Eh,
German Shepherd in him. So yeah,
exactly.
that's one of the smartest dogs, man.
His, his, his mother must be was very busy.
Oh yeah, she was getting them puppy guts pounded, yo. Straight up, getting them guts busted.
She must be was very busy in a very short period of time.
But I wonder, cause you know what? We could talk all day about this shit. I guess we can go on in the final ratings, cause we don't want to keep everybody here all day. Let's go on in the final ratings.
Well, for all the low key shade I threw at this, I'll just give it a 5 because, well, no, I'll give it a 4.5. Because even though it was a little cheesy and it didn't make me laugh, it didn't offend me. I don't feel hurt that I watched the episode. I wasn't like, I never cringed at any moment. I was just like, yeah. But I'll say it definitely, well, no, I guess I'll give it a flat 5. It's not close to good and it's not close to bad. It's just like so mad, it's unreal. And to answer the question, maybe as a kid, but as an adult right now, I would not continue watching it.
Oh man. And I guess just going based off of this episode, cause Did you watch the second episode that's connected to this, the chameleon one?
No.
No. Oh man. Because I mean I wouldn't say that's better, but I don't know. That gives you a little bit more
Well,
insight
hey,
into the
I think,
series.
hey, now you know how I felt about the Dan versus episodes,
I
in a sense.
guess. I don't know because I can't really say if that's better or worse because I didn't watch it. I didn't fully watch it honestly. I say it's on the same level honestly. Like I say I give this like maybe just because I seen it and I personally enjoy the series and I like how it had the whole setup and introductory from a story aspect. Yeah, you could argue it's cheesy and whatnot, but you gotta think too. They had to do this all in like under 10 minutes, probably less than that. So I say you introduce the characters who they are, you introduce the agency who they are, and you created a story to get this puppy involved with them. So just on the story aspect alone, ignore the jokingness, the cheesiness, and all that. I'll honestly give it a 6.5. Maybe I'm a little bit too high on that, but I think structure-wise, storytelling-wise, they did a good job.
Hmm.
Do you are you gonna disagree or?
I think,
Because I'm
no, I
interested to
think,
hear what you say about that. Because you can go off the corniness, the cheesiness, all you want, but the story aspect of it, and that's the point of any pilot to see to like introduce people to the characters in the world and the setting.
see,
Obviously they could expand it on more, which they probably did in the second
I,
episode. I can't remember per se, but I say they introduced it everything like the main shit pretty well in the first episode, given the time period that they have. So I'll give it, like I said, a 6.5.
see, I mean, the story, um, I would say the story feel like I really want to say they kind of like forced everything.
Yeah, yeah. You
Like they
can you can
forced all
definitely
the
argue that.
interactions, they forced all the, pretty much everything really. I would say even the end, it's like they just pull up and well, no, I wouldn't say that because they were whatever. But I would say they kind of forced him into the agency. Like he randomly ended up there, fight some people, and now he's an agent.
Right,
That's like saying if not like if I ran out and fucked up a robber on the street, they wouldn't hire me to the police force.
right, exactly, exactly.
I
And
mean,
and
granted, I
that's
get what they're saying, with the whole he's a hybrid, but normally they just would have been like, yeah, you cool,
right.
thanks.
And that's realistic thinking too. Um and I will say this to kind of give them a little way out. They had only probably like 10 to 15 minutes to accomplish that. So, given the amount of time they had to come up with something, I would say like, man, you could have done a whole 30-minute episode on it just to make it look a little better. But I think they did all right. I wouldn't say maybe I'll give it a flat 6. I think that's more fair because I think that's kind of going a little bit too high, 6.5. But I'll go 6. And you
Hmm.
said your ratings what?
5.
5? Okay. All
A
right.
nice
All right.
flat 5.
I see that as fair. All right. Ladies and gentlemen, this has been another episode of First Impressions with Ray Rawlins and Alex Pain. Today we talked about T.U.F.F Puppy, and I honestly, he said he won't continue, but me seeing the series, knowing what it is, I say give it a chance. Honestly, I do. If you haven't already, I say give it a chance, man. Sure, we're talking about the first part of the episode. Watch the second part. See
But
what you
let me
like.
ask you this though: if you never saw it before, well, let's not even say that. From an adult's perspective, right now, you think you would continue watching it?
I don't know. I honestly can't say. Like my view, because I've seen it already, it's conflicting with that, but I'd probably say maybe. It's gonna be on the maybe. I'm not gonna sit here and say no because I can't really say. Honestly. I'll say maybe. Maybe I will, maybe I wouldn't. I can't say for sure. But my thoughts are definitely conflicting with it. Like I tell you one thing, I saw it as a kid. I was like, yeah, this is cool. And I like the guy Jerry Trainer too. So this motherfucking Spencer, crazy Steve. So but I say, yeah, maybe I continue. And you know what? That's up for them to decide if they want to. So if they check out that episode, continue, don't continue. That's up to you, man. I personally would, because like I said, I like the series. I've seen it already, and it's pretty decent. But with all that being said, we will see you guys throughout the week for the Getting Color podcast and the classic SpongeBob review. Peace. Oh, and like and subscribe too.